So I'm here with Logan. We're talking about copywriting, the business of copywriting. Why do people need copywriting?
Well, there's different types of copywriting. Mm-hmm. What I'm passionate about and what I'm doing is SEO copywriting, so for websites. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people get that confused. They think, oh, it's paid advertising. But what I do is sort of website copy. So it's kind of like a foundation on your website that makes Google like you, I suppose. Mm-hmm. So the idea is, I think, everybody sort of makes this big website and they kind of just leave it from there. And they don't really apply the tools that they need to that website to make Google like you. And I think that's the really important word, is you need to make Google like you. Yes. And that's what SEO copywriting does. So what I do is I write copy for all types of businesses from any industry. And I give you words that are relative to your business and relative to you individually, but also words that are strung together in a very precise way to make Google like you.
For the benefit of our viewers out there,
yes,
your Australian accent has an interesting lilt to it. Can you tell us where that came from?
I'm Canadian. I'm born in Canada. I moved here when I was 18, though, so I have over 10 years of being Australian, so I often forget that I'm Canadian. Can
you tell us about your recent life, as in a recent venture that you've, because you had a magazine?
Yes, yeah.
Which is a major thing. I'm so impressed that you've, not everyone has a glossy magazine that looks fantastic, because I've seen a few of them, and but the magazine is a I guess a cyclical industry, isn't it? You know, sometimes things go into and out of vogue, but for a while there you had a magazine that, well, tell us about the magazine. It has a fantastic name that I love, yes. And I hope you're going to continue using that name, because it's a great name.
Well, I copyright now, so I offer all my services through Provoke, which was the name of the magazine. Mm-hmm. It's very much mine. I'm very proud of it.
Have you got it protected? Have you got it trademarked and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I own it.
Very good.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic name.
Thank you. Yeah, so I operate all my businesses under Provoke, with the idea being I provide thought-provoking content. But I started a magazine a few years ago. It was Queensland-based. It was a lifestyle magazine. I had it in newsagents across Queensland. I was very passionate about it. It was very exciting. And then it was just sort of reached a point that, print was dying, yes. Sadly, though I love it. It is sort of a struggle. It just reached that point where I was fighting, just to get enough advertising to pay for even the print run, just because, print was not where it used to be.
That's amazingly courageous. I'm in awe of you doing all it took to make a magazine. That's a serious thing. It was a good-looking magazine. They're now collector's items, which I think is what we're referring to. They're now collector's items.
Yes, they're collected in my home now.
I wanted to talk about another thing, which is, earlier you were talking about how a consumer might assess a business on the presentation of things that aren't its product, if you know what I mean. So a consumer will assess a business based on other things, the things around the edges, the way, the apostrophe's in the right place, or...
Oh, definitely. And I think a lot of people don't know, when you read a sentence, if there's something wrong with the way that sentence is strung together, even if you can't recognize what's wrong in it, you'll still probably pause at the end of the sentence. You'll have this feeling like it just didn't read right. You might not be able to say, oh, there should have been an apostrophe there. I can tell you exactly where the apostrophe should have been, or where the comma or the anything should have been that's missing from that sentence. But you will still have paused. And that's the problem. You will have stopped what you're doing.
Well, you should have.
Even if it's for a moment, people are swayed by moments. I'm going to open up a page, and if it takes too long, I'm going to move on. If your image takes too long to load, I'm going to move on. If your sentence doesn't read right and I've paused, I'm going to move on. And that's it. I think we mentioned the other day, it's like walking up to a bank who has their their sign out the front, and it's a little bit askew. Well, okay, I'm probably going to go to the bank just next door to it. Because if my perception, I may not think that. I may not think, oh, the sign's askew, I don't want to go in there. But my perception immediately is, if you don't care about the way that you've presented your business, well, if I'm walking into a bank, will you care about my money? Mm-hmm. You don't think that. Not like logically. I'm not standing out on the street going, oh, you're not going to care about my money. But I'm going to look to the right and see someone that does have a correctly laid sign and go, oh, they look well presented, and probably be more inclined to go there. And that's the thing. If your website is written badly, well, what's to stop me from going to the person who does care about the way their sentence is structured and does care about the way they've presented their business, because they've made me like them. Google wants to like you. Google doesn't want to hate you. Google doesn't want to put you on the 20th page. Google wants you to do the right things. So there's actually, if you Google content guidelines, there's a whole link system of everything you should be doing in your content.
So there's some science behind this, or there's some
definitely
structure behind this. And where you fit in is you talk to the distracted business owner who just says, I just need a thing, can you go and do a thing for me?
Yes.
With about that much instruction. And then you say, okay, well, I look at his business, whatever it is, and with your knowledge of those Google guidelines,
definitely
put something together.
Sometimes people have content, they'll have a couple paragraphs here and there on their website, and even if they're just like, look, I just need that, it has my message in it, I need it to work, I need Google to like it, I can run with that. I can go, okay, do you have time for a 5-10 minute phone conversation? If they don't, no, I'm still okay with that. It's your time. It's your, a lot of people hire me because they don't want to do all of that stuff. They don't want to copyright. They don't have the time to sit down and think about 8 pages of websites or 15 pages of website. So I can take what you have, or even if there's nothing, if you've launched something new, and I can plug in Google's content guidelines. Google all of a sudden will take notice. It's just such a lost asset that people need to know. You have a website, which means you've already done the hard work. You just need to make it work for you. Think about the words that you write, I suppose. As a business, everything that you write or everything that you can write has value to you, whether it's print or online, whether you want to write it. Some people even have little magazines that they hand out, like Zarafas. They have a little magazine, put it online. Or, re-engage it, take an article from there and put it online, call it a blog, call it anything. But everything that you do as a business, whether you think it or not, usually involves words. And they have value. They have more value than you know. And I think it's just a huge thing that businesses should know.